Page 49, Evening Hymn. On page 48, they're introducing you to the E-flat major scale. 3 flats. See, we're taking flats away. We're going around the circle of fifths. This is the order I present them in the scale videos. We add a sharp or we take a flat and we go around all the keys. So we went from 5 flats to 4 flats, now 3 flats. So we have a B flat, which is always the first one, an E flat is always the second, and an A flat is always the third. Only the 3 of them. That sounds cool. Well, I encourage you to use the scale video I have on E flat major and go learn it 1 octave up and down if possible. At the bottom of the page they have the primary chords, and these are important. In both hands, learn it 1 chord, 4 chord, 5/7 chord. So you have a D natural in this one. So, that helps to know the chords. In Evening Hymn, 6/8 times, so an 8th note gets a beat, and there's 6 of them in a measure, or thereabouts. So, right hand first, 3rd finger here, we're in this position, more or less, and it's 1, 2, 3. Remember, a quarter note gets 2 beats now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. If you don't want to put a thumb on the black key, you have to go down here. If you're going to do that, you probably should start out with 4th finger instead of 3rd. And then in the second measure, on the dotted quarter note, make sure that's with 2nd finger, because you can do that. So whatever fingering you're using, just make sure 2nd finger is on that dotted quarter note in the second measure. This way you're in position for the rest of it. And if you don't want to put a thumb there, then you have to put the thumb on the F and cross over. So you make these adjustments. Now if your hands are small enough, I recommend the fingering that's in the book, really. Then you do that again, and then go down to the 3rd line last measure. You're here, 4th finger now on the B flat. And that's about all that, and then that's really the piece. The left hand gets the chords. The 1 chord. The dotted half note gets 6 counts, so it's the whole measure, and then the 5/7 chord. You go down to the bottom, the last line. Now you get a 4 chord. A couple of times. Put them together. See, the left hand is tied there. You don't play it again. So watch out on these tied notes in the left hand. Now they're saying MF at the beginning. That's a suggestion, and that's to the melody. You'll have to decide how loud you're going to play it. You decide that, and keep the left hand soft. And then come down, get softer at the end of a phrase there. You see the phrasing? So you're going to lift up in the right hand between the phrases. Look at the second line. Going from the 2nd measure to the 3rd measure. You're here. And when you go to the 3rd measure, lift up in the right hand. Play the left hand as legato as you can. And the same thing in the 3rd line. The last 2 measures, you're here. Lift up in the right hand. It's a new phrase. And the same thing in the last line. You can't play the left hand totally legato because it's chords, but do the best you can. Keep those. Moderato, I think that's about how I've been doing it. It's the feel. You might think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is fast, but it's not the beat I'm looking at for moderato. It's the feel of it. I want that to feel like it's sort of in the middle, not fast or slow. That's all. There's a note at the top that they want you to transpose this to the key of E major. And the reason for that is because you can read the notes exactly as they are. It just changed the key signature from 3 flats to 4 sharps. You're thinking, what? That's too many. Bah. Well, again, if you know the scales, this really is not a problem. It's not much of a challenge at all, because if you know the E major scale, you're just playing in E major, and you know which keys are involved in E major. So it's 4 sharps. It actually feels better under the fingers, because now you're out here in the white keys, not up here in the black key area. It's so much easier. But that's the idea with knowing these key signatures and the scales. It makes this kind of stuff so much easier to do. Let's try it together slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Now be careful, there is a DCL fine at the bottom. That means go back to the beginning and go to fine. The fine is there in the middle of the second line. You see it above the stabs with a thin and thick bar line, the end of the piece symbol. So we're going to do that too. So I'll give us 6 counts. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4. To the top. 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off.